The Torch, edition 13. Foreword from our chairman. Dear colleagues and friends, wow! We certainly are experiencing unusual and interesting times as we grapple with a challenge that is affecting the whole globe, us at St. Dunstan's too. This newsletter contains several accounts of how beneficiaries have turned lockdown into a special opportunity to do something different or to acquire new skills. We draw inspiration from their efforts. As Charmaine has described COVID-19 in her blog, our ability is stronger than any disability, and isn't technology awesome? We are mindful of how, for instance, so many musicians, singers, and sound engineers have gotten together to use their skills, knowledge, and aptitudes constructively and collaboratively, synchronizing, harmonizing, using their fine musical ears to create virtual music shows and indeed celebrations, despite the challenge of separation and physical distancing. Our grateful thanks go out to the many workers who are keeping essential services going, despite the risk and exposures. Times like these remind us of how the dedication, skill, and human care practiced by our medical fraternity, healthcare workers, and all who support our clinics, hospitals, and medical facilities. And we recognize also the service given by police and law enforcement personnel, supported by the SANDF, the biggest military call-up since World War II. May they keep safe and injury-free. One old soldier who has never given up is the UK's now world-famous Captain Tom Moore. As he approached his 100th birthday, Captain Tom was determined to walk around his garden 100 times with the aid of his walking frame to raise a target of £1,000 for the National Health Service. As a World War II veteran, he understood well what the medics were so often called upon to do. Never did he imagine the impact he would have in inspiring those around him with just those few steps of courage and determination. He was joined on the BBC in a cover version of the song "You Will Never Walk Alone." Far from raising £1,000, he has reached out to more than 1.5 million people who have donated no less than £32.7 million to be exact. That's pretty close to 700 million. At the age of 100, he now holds 2 world records in the Guinness Book of Records for the greatest amount of money raised in a single fundraising walk, and as the oldest person ever to have a #1 single on the UK music charts. His birthday was celebrated with, for example, a special fly past from the Royal Air Force and messages from VIPs including the Queen and the Secretary General of the United Nations. He has been appointed as the Honorary Colonel of the Army Foundation College, the UK's Yorkshire-based Army Junior Leader Training Centre, and above all, he has inspired many other people to raise funds by walking, to rise above their restrictions and limitations, and to get on with doing their level best and encouraging others. "You'll Never Walk Alone" became the theme of his story. And this is our theme too, in St. Dunstan's. The reason why we were started all those years ago and what we continue to do. Walk on, walk together, Walk with your head held high and with a sense of purpose, with courage and determination. St. Dunstan's will walk beside you. It's a collaborative journey, yet one that can only be based upon trust, integrity, and mutual respect. On behalf of the board and our management team, our very best wishes to you all. As the Daily Show stalwart Trevor Noah exhausts us, may you all stay lockdown positive and corona negative until we can meet again. Dave Mitchell, Chairman. Beneficiary news. In the words of Renier Haynes, lockdown came as quite a shock to us. Never in my life would I believe that such a thing would happen to us. I mean, staying away from work for more than a month? Unthinkable. During the first week, it was frightening waking up without an alarm and not going into work. But after some thinking about the situation, I decided to make the most of it. At first, I started to do some DIY and started fixing some things around the house that was out of order but never had the time to do it, such as our grandmother clock which needed a service. Years ago I taught myself how to play the guitar, so decided to teach myself to play the harmonica together with my guitar. I took up another new hobby and bought myself a drone a while ago as a new challenge for me. It took some time, but I succeeded in getting it into the air and fly it. I did this by hearing and listening carefully how to plot the position of the drone. The rest of my time I spent having quality time with my wife and a good rest from work. It might be wrong to say, but I am enjoying every minute of this break by keeping myself mentally fit. Keep well and God bless. Now we get to hear what Peter Engelbrecht was up to. Peter enjoys keeping busy. His positive nature sees opportunities in all situations and often does not allow negative circumstances to stop him from doing this thing. Peter used his time during lockdown to renovate the bar area in his house and built a beautiful cabinet. The cabinet was scrubbed, varnished and finished off with a steel wool to get the smooth desired look. He is quite proud of his work and the finished cabinet looks great. He has been busy with another project for over a year now. Given his talent and interest in cars as a motor mechanic by trade, Peter has been working on a 1996 Dolphin-shaped BMW E36. He has finished the engine and the car is finally ready to drive. He is now focusing his attention on the scrapes and marks on the car and keeping busy polishing it to a high standard. Accessibility Campaign COVID-19. The International Disability Alliance and the International Disability and Development Consortium have launched an accessibility campaign to call for public health information and communications around COVID-19 to be fully accessible. The issue. Persons with disabilities are unable to access vital information about COVID-19 on equal basis with others. Daily briefings by World Health Organization and the United Nations, such as those delivered by the Secretary General, are not accessible. International sign interpretation, closed captioning, written or audio description of graphs and videos and documentation in plain language, easy to read, are not included in the daily briefings by the World Health Organization and the United Nations. The aim: to make the World Health Organization and United Nations daily briefings and any supporting documents on COVID-19 fully accessible to persons with disabilities. We want them to set an example and show leadership to national governments and other actors in providing a fully accessible COVID-19 response by making all information that they disseminate fully accessible to persons with disabilities, keeping in line with the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, General Comment number 7 and the UN Disability Inclusion Strategy. Key campaign asks: ensure public health information and communication around COVID-19 is fully accessible. We want the United Nations daily briefings and any supporting documents on COVID-19 to be fully accessible to persons with disabilities. All United Nations agencies should publish and share the information on COVID-19 in accessible formats, including in which shared materials are accessible online for persons using screen reader software and presentation materials accessible using universal design, elemental, and additional formats such as the use of sign language, easy read, plain language, captioned media, braille, augmentative and alternative communication, and other accessible means. We want national and local governments to follow the advice as laid out in the World Health Organization COVID-19 Disability Briefing. We call on all COVID-19 responders, including the UN, WHO, and national governments to work with representative organizations of persons with disabilities to distribute fully accessible public health information. Source: World Blind Union.